Hello, it's Johara. Welcome back to my channel, to the Witchy Reader. So I'm going to do my writing wrap up. So what I wrote in June. So I worked mostly on Skeleton Rebellion, book 2 in my Tales of the Grim Reaper series over June, except for a little bit on the last day where I started a new project. It was going to be a short project, so I figured I can work on it as I work on Skeleton Rebellion. I'll get to that when I get to that. So, on the 6th, I wrote 1,397 words. On the 7th, I wrote 877 words. On the 13th, I wrote 257 words, all for Skeleton Rebellion. On the 14th, I wrote 1,615 words. And then on the 30th, still Skeleton Rebellion, I wrote 1,177 words. And then same day, I switched over to work on my new Realm Monsters novella because, so funny story, I was looking at all my Realm Monsters books because there's a lot of books in that series, and I was uh, trying to calculate how many there is, including what I plan to write for the series that I have not yet, because I have my main trilogy. I have 10 novellas in the Khaleesi's Adventure series, which is a prequel, then the Not Yours to Save novella, which is after the main trilogy, and then a Monster Realm short story collection, also based after the trilogy. I also have a prequel trilogy planned, and by this time I'd already decided on a novel that will be set after the trilogy as well, that has to do with them kind of figuring out what to do now that the war is over, trying to get over all the monster prejudice and everything. So, yeah. When I calculated all that, I was like, that's 19 books. 19 books seems like a very odd number to end on. So I figured, why not come up with one more idea, make it an even 20 books in this series. If I can stop there, we shall see. I always come up. This world has so much that can happen with it that I'm always coming up with new ideas. And I was trying to figure out what could that extra story be. I just wanted it to be one standalone, whether it's a novella or a novel. And I was thinking, and I don't even remember how exactly I came up with this idea, to be honest. But I had the idea of a novella featuring Roxanne, who you meet early on in the books. She's the main character's love interest, and she is a very, very important part to the story, because first of all, you see the world through her eyes at first when you're first introduced to the monster realm, because she's never been to the monster realm, so you are introduced to it through her wondrous eyes. And there's also a lot with her like helping Kalista, and there's a lot with her helping others realize the prejudice going on in their land without them realizing it. And there's also a lot of her belonging and finding herself. Not only her being able to be herself now that she's in this realm, but figuring out her own sexuality and everything. So she has a very important role to play in the story. And I was like, what if I did a novella before the trilogy, not long before the trilogy, where she finally makes the decision to go to the realm. And I thought that was an interesting idea, and I've started it. I think 3 chapters in, and I think this I feel like is gonna be short, maybe even my shortest novella. Most of my novellas are around 100, 150 pages, but this one may be less than 100 pages. We shall see. I don't even know yet. It will depend, because also knowing me, I have issues. I write a lot, and I have issues with stopping. I have issues writing standalones. I have issues writing shorter stories. Like, yeah, I wrote some novellas, but they're all part of a bigger series, and they're all connected. So I'm like, but we shall see. But I decided to call it A Wolf in Sheep's Clothing. And so I started that on the 30th, and I wrote 232 words. I'm going to be working, so that's all I wrote in June. But I'm going to be writing a lot in July. I hit Stormfly. I did not mean to hit Stormfly. This is my writing buddy. She has an egg and everything. I usually just keep her in the egg, like this, on my desk, and I knocked her down. I'm sorry. Okay. There, stay. Okay. I lost what I was saying. I got distracted by Stormfly. But point is, I'm hoping to write a lot in July. I definitely want to work on a lot on Skeleton Rebellion. I don't think I'll finish it this month because I'm still relatively in, but I do want to work on Wolves in Sheep Clothing and hopefully even finish that this month and send it off to the beta reader, who has not been helpful because she is encouraging for me to write even more books in the realm of monsters, and I'm just like, 20 is enough. And she was like, yeah, 20 is a good number. You want to know what else is a good number? 25. And I was like, you're not helping. so, but she's amazing. She helps make my stories even better. But I lost train of thought again. So yeah, so I'm hoping to finish that this month. No promises, but that is my goal. Because I also want to work on Skeleton Rebellion, so it really depends on how much I work on Skeleton Rebellion versus Wolf in Sheep's Clothing. So yeah, but that is all. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe and comment with how your writing month went, and I'll chat with you guys below in the comments. Until next time.